not going to jump for the ball.
Foot space.
That's important for everyone, I suppose. The ball's in the air, and Fowler wins the tip for Oklahoma State. The Cowboys will start with Oklahoma State looking to get to 10-0 at home for the first time since 2013. Inside to Fowler, and he immediately gets one off the glass.
Well, they ran that play for him, the high ball screen on the opposite side of the corner of the free throw line, and he beat the man to the spot.
That's where he can really make a difference. He mentioned that run and gun in the half court. He's a huge difference maker. And speaking of which, Jacoby Hetty with an early bucket on the other side.
Well, screen freed him up. The defender was late coming off. Left him open. Can't do that.
There's the starting five for the Cowboys. Their 11th unique starting lineup in 13 games this season. Fowler couldn't finish that time with the left hand. Jacoby Hetty to his brother Quentin. Down the corner three, good.
Not enough, tight enough defense. That was not a big-time dribble penetration.
Tyler Andrews, the former Kansas City Roo, who was in here just a couple of weeks ago, gets the bucket. Roy rises for three in the tie, too strong. And now, here come the Wildcats on the run. A lob to the backside, easy finish.
Once again, Wildcats beating the Cowboys down the floor that time.
Bruzan, a preseason first-team all-SWAC selection. Now no good from the left hand. Fowler gets the rebound from the deck and finishes. Oh, no, it climbed out. I spoke too soon. Fowler got another rebound, a couple of offensive there, and then a foul against Bethune-Cookman.
Andrews picks up his first. The last time down the floor when he missed it, it looked like he was going a little too fast, lost control of the ball. That time he just didn't quite put it right on the board.
Roy right to the front of the rim. Cookman, a team that can really work one-on-one offensively. A lot of guys capable of taking you one-on-one.
And that's something defensively the Cowboys really worked hard on once they got back from Christmas break. Have to get better in that area.
Wing three, in and out. Fowler with yet another early rebound. Fowler walks into a three, left hip short. It's just Fowler's fourth attempt from beyond the arc this season. Now turnover.
Hetty saying that somebody on the Cowboys sideline, like a coach, may have stuck a foot out or something. He was trying to maintain possession.
That happened. It went unnoticed from the officiating crew. Cowboys working in the half court. A lot of looks around the rim, but they haven't finished very efficiently. Just 2 for 7 from the field. And a foul. Number 2 on Tyler Andrews.
With that first of the game, now 2 quick fouls. It'll change up the lineup and the rotation for Reggie Theus a little bit because they're missing maybe their most dynamic player, Arterio Morris. Played at Texas, played at Kansas. Concussion-like symptoms. He's not going to play tonight.
Keep in mind Seneca Willoughby, who is also a very, very big piece of this team. As a foul will keep the ball with Oklahoma State. He's available tonight, Willoughby is, but on likely restricted minutes this evening. Just making his return from injury.
Yeah, Coach Theus told us as Mitchell picks up the foul, he told us that, you know, to get Willoughby in there to see what he can do, but he wants him to get game action before conference play because he's been out for a while.
Jordan Johnson, who has started 7 games this year, enters the game for the Wildcats. The officials coming over to clarify something. Reggie Theus in his 4th year at the helm, excuse me, his 5th year at the helm, and Bethune-Cookman has gotten better and better under his watch. His first year they finished 10th in the league as a turnover. A foul, that is, an offensive foul will give it back to Bethune-Cookman. But the Wildcats under his leadership finished 10th his first year, 7th in the SWAC his second year, then 5th and 3rd, and now picked to win the league this year.
Yeah, and he said he'll be disappointed if they aren't challenging for the championship at the end. Boy, that's almost over and back.
he couldn't get by. Now pass underneath is stolen away by Christian Coleman, who's been really good for the Cowboys of late. He'll go right down Broadway, but blew the layup. Cowboys trying to pick up in transition. D. Fowler gets the stop on the board. Miller now sprinting up the floor. He sends it to his left. It's deflected out of play. Had an open teammate to his right. That was Anthony Roy.
Well, this last minute and a half looks like two teams who haven't played in about a week. Get that Christmas break, come back and try to work off any sort of rust that might have picked up, although it's not that long.
There's a foul, and Christian Coleman will go to the line.
That is on Mitchell. That's his second. But no, instead they give it to Quentin Henning.
It is 4 team fouls early on as we take a look back.
Well, a nice inbounds pass. They found Christian Coleman right under the basket and the out of bounds underneath a handful of times in the last few games. Just out of position defensively.
Coach Diaz expressed that as a concern. He feels like they've got some decent length, but when you get to the 5 spot, or right now Christian Coleman's playing the 4, they're lacking a little bit of size in that area.
Ariel Bland will check in for the Wildcats. Already having to make some changes here. And again, a little bit shorthanded. Of course, the Cowboys are too.
Bland, a very capable shot blocker, more than 1 per game, has him ranked nationally in that category as Coleman makes both. Christian Coleman averaging 18 points per game over the last 4 contests.
Something a little new. The Cowboys haven't shown this 1-2-2 3/4 court trap with Christian Coleman up at the point with that big length.
Mitchell lets it fly off the mark. The rebound, pinballs out of bounds. And they'll say that'll go to Bethune-Cookman. Parsifalo wants the coaching staff to review it. I don't think he's going to get his wish.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get another look at this, but what it looked like Bland had it. Looked like off of Bland's foot.
The lob is taken away by Miller for Oklahoma State. Curry to the corner. Roy rises. Got it.
That's when the Cowboys are at their best, turning the turnovers into points in a hurry.
Roy 6 for 10 from 3-point the last time out against Fullerton for Oklahoma State. He's given the Cowboys a 2-point advantage. First lead since the opening bucket for Oklahoma State. 3 to respond is no good, and Fowler with another. He's got 4 in the first run of play here. Miller, just walks into a 3. Too strong, though. Roy with the one-handed rebound, and he draws the foul.
And Mitchell picks up his second one that time. That was a pretty little pass and good court vision. But on the fast break, the Cowboys turn the steal into points. Good sharing by Jalen Curry out to Anthony Roy with 5 points early, and the Cowboys by 2. For Bethune-Cookman, they'd love to be greedy. Turn the Cowboys over. Cowboys only giving up 9 steals per game. And without Arterio Morris tonight for the Wildcats, it's going to be tougher to turn them over. They are experienced, though, for the Cowboys' transition defense. Not great all the time already, but it needs to get better. And attacking the rim, they've done a decent job, at least getting it inside to Parsifalo, who's now over on the bench.
Yeah, that experience, it really goes both ways for Bethune-Cookman. First of all, this year, they've played the toughest schedule in the country, according to KenPom. So they've got good experience with that. But they're in the top 90 teams in the nation, as we have a foul on Oklahoma State. In terms of Division I experience on their roster, it's still in less than 2 years on average, but that tells you kind of the state of Division I experience across all of NCAA basketball today.
For those of us, as you see the foul on Mekhi Ragland, he just kind of got up on top of him, and a good job down there by Bland of drawing the contact. It was interesting. They waited to blow the whistle to see whether the basket went in. I'm not sure he would have gotten the and one.
Ball's out for Daniel Rouzan, preseason first team all SWAC selection. He was second team all conference a year ago.
Yeah, I said Bland is obviously Rouzan, but a little bit of quickness, edge on Mekhi Ragland down low. And good spacing by Bethune-Cookman to open that interior pass up.
Ragland, the guy from Oklahoma State that we'll actually hear from at halftime today, but a young player that this coaching staff is very high on as he continues to kind of reshape his body and get into Division I shape. Missed all of last year with a foot injury.
Right now, depth critical at that position without Lefteris Mandzukas and a good follow there by Christian Coleman, but also you're missing Millie Vukovic tonight.
Coleman is a guy who's really come on strong, and he might live right where you saw him there a moment ago on the offensive glass tonight.
When Christian Coleman and Isaiah Coleman are playing well, I think that those two guys may be as major X factors as you have on this team for a Big 12 play.
Baseline jumper is good, and then a little look at the bench from Damian Rouzan. A little side-eye towards the Cowboys there. Isaiah Coleman in the game for the first time. Perimeter passing here for the Cowboys. Coleman splits defenders and has it knocked free, but a foul in the process. Rouzan just caught there in the short corner and let it fly pretty quickly. Here's a welcome sight for Cowboy fans. Kanye Clary, who left with a non-contact injury a couple of games ago, returning to the floor. There were some quiet moments inside Gallagher Arena when he went down. He's an important part of this team.
It was that plant leg on that drive to the basket, and yeah, you kind of were hoping just for the best. Unfortunately, it was not nearly as bad as it could have been.
Victorious Miller, very consistent scorer for the Cowboys, gives it away. Now Clary. 12th in the Big 12 in assist-to-turnover ratio at about 2.5 to 1. Miller, baseline J.
Well, he just elevates so high up over the defenders, almost froze them with a little bit of an off-balance move.
And John, he's coming off of a career-high 6 rebounds in the game against Fullerton. You know that's something that Coach Lutz loves to see.
Yes, and you know the thing that he would have played even more minutes against Fullerton, except the 2 fouls in the first half. And Coach Lutz smartly, especially with some depth issues with 3 guys out, couldn't afford for him to pick up a third in the first half. That foul on Parsifala, his first. But Miller just takes off, uses a bit of a screen from Fala, who then rolled to the basket, and his defender, Fala's defender, was late coming over.
You know what cracked me up, John, about Coach Lutz was talking to us pregame about Victorious Miller essentially wanting to play with those 2 fouls in the first half the other day. Well, if you look at the numbers, Steve Lutz allows his 2 foul players to play as little as anybody in the country. 350th out of 365 teams. So you wouldn't think it would come as much of a surprise. If you can pick up 2, you're probably coming out.
You know what it is? It's a polite clash of styles between the player who knows he's not going to pick up a third and a coach who's like, look, I'm going to need you later.
Rouzan, just like the first time, missed the first, made the second. Here's some pressure. Turned out not much pressure for Kanye Clary.
As much as anything else, just taking some time off that shot clock.
Miller has it knocked free and eventually stolen away. That's Seneca Willoughby, who's wearing number 1 tonight. Now Miller gets it back. Ooh. Couldn't finish the dunk, but an offensive rebound for Clary. Wow. Isaiah Coleman, he'll get it to go. Drive and a finish, an and one chance for Jacoby Hetty.
That may be on Fala, and if so, that's his second. No, it's on Isaiah Coleman, his first.
Team's 4th. Bethune-Cookman hanging in here in Stillwater, trailing 15-13. And again, just 3-9, but they've played the 2nd toughest schedule in the country. Most recently, they visited the number 1 team in the country in Arizona. Played without a couple of key players in that game. But Hetty had a strong contest, 12 points in that one.
3-point play for him. Well, Coach Theus told us that he thought his team played pretty well at Arizona, and then you look at the final score.
Roy couldn't finish. Jordan Johnson got the board. Now here's Willoughby, a pitch ahead. Jacoby Hetty.
That's good help defense from Clary.
Straightaway three knocked down by Seneca Willoughby, the preseason second-team All-SWAC player, returning from injury for the first time tonight. Left hand, high scoop shot, no. Falla tip back, no. Got his own miss. That one falls, and one for Parsifala.
Well, he tried to tip the first one to keep from any sort of shot block. Gets the basket, and he'll try to complete the three-point play after the timeout. Steve Lutz's Cowboys and Bethune-Cookman up and down, not always pretty, but Falla getting the job.
Off the mark, rebound out of bounds. It will stay with Oklahoma State.
Wow.
John, the Cowboys are shooting just 37% from the field, but they've got now 6 offensive rebounds and 8 second chance points.
Well, they are actually going to review this one. Anthony Roy challenged the miss, and the Bethune-Cookman player, I think Bland had inside position. You know, the rebounding team would be the ones, but maybe not. Yeah, that might be tough. I know the officials may have another angle on that. That might be tough to overturn it from that angle. New lineup on the floor with Ryan Crotty in the game for the first time. And again, they show that 1-2-2, kind of a three-quarter court trap. And something new. The Cowboys really haven't shown this much this year.
And a successful trap this time as they force the turnover. It's over and back.
That's the second time they've run that. First time almost created an over and back. That time they did.
Trapping at just the right time, using that half-court line as a third defender.
I'm sure that Coach Theus was hoping he would get more out of overturned challenge than going right back the other way.
Parsifala with the quickness to the hoop.
They don't have an answer for him.
Eddie turned away by Falla as well. Parsifala showing some versatility.
Well, it's just good to see him back on the floor. Again, he could have played the last couple of games for the Cowboys. Make sure he's as healthy as he could possibly be going into conference play.
And is stripped out of bounds. It will stay with Bethune-Cookman.
Another look to see kind of part here for Falla, because Johnson is so hugged up on Anthony Roy, he doesn't have time to get over. But Parsa doesn't go just straight line. He kind of pulled that ball down and allowed the shot blocker, potential shot blocker, to sweep by without any success.
Doing his best guard imitation.
Yeah.
Luzan over the top of Clary. Crotty. Give it to Roy. That was a little awkward. Roy was stripped, but also fouled.
It's a pass in a tight space. And the foul is on Quentin Hetty. So now 3 players for Bethune-Cookman, each with 2.
Still 11 minutes to play in this half. I mean, it's really, Coach Theus is going to have to play some of those guys. They had 4 scratches out of their lineup today. One other that they're still waiting to get a waiver to be eligible to play. So they're kind of limited on personnel right now.
Yeah, well, we could spend the rest of the broadcast on teams adding people at semester and waivers and eligibility rulings.
Yeah, I don't recall ever seeing a former NBA draftee get added to a collegiate roster at any point, much less in the middle of the season. But that's the situation we find ourselves in the modern world of college basketball.
OSU assessed a delay of game warning. You know, the defensive side of the ball is where the Cowboys have had the most issues so far this season. And Coach Lutz putting in a few things really that he hasn't shown, at least one tonight.
Eddie is fouled and will go to the line. Anthony Roy picks up the personal.
Well, they get so spread out that Hetty is just able to drive right down the lane, and nobody's really stopping that pass from getting to him.
It's a little different falling back from that trap, but when you get into the half court, one of the things that Coach Lutz has harped on has been the on-ball defense, man-to-man on-ball defense, and this is a Bethune-Cookman squad that really has a chance to challenge that. They're very capable of that as a team.
Yes, and so from that standpoint, you like this being your last game before conference play begins, because you're going to see every night out in the Big 12, you're going to see it.
And he makes both. He's got 7 points. Roseanne with 8 to lead the Wildcats. There's a foul way out away from the basket. Dalen Miner picks it up.
Just into the game and just bumping Clary out on the Eddie Sutton signature.
This will be a 1-and-1 for Kanye Clary, and then the Cowboys will be in the double bonus the rest of the way in this half. We're not even at the halfway mark of the first half, so we're going to see a lot of free throws for the home team if this keeps up down the stretch.
This is an area that OSU has been pretty strong at the free throw line for the most part so far this year.
Clary makes both, and this is something that's been a struggle for Bethune-Cookman. They're 272nd in the country in opponent free throw rate. So essentially, how often do they allow their opponents to shoot free throws? Among the worst in the country. Off the turnover, must beat Christian Coleman all alone. And a timeout for Reggie Theus.
Right, and hesitation here. They threw the press at, and when Clary actually dropped off instead of double teaming, I think it caused the turnover. And a good find from Clary to Christian Coleman underneath. And with Christian Coleman at the head of that press, you know, he's 6'8", the wingspan is there, and you've got an inexperienced guard for Bethune-Cookman out there trying to find the open man, and your ball fakes have to be a little bit better than that.
Yeah, Dalen Miner, and Coach Theus talked with us about him a little bit in our pregame conversation. Just a freshman, plays about 6 minutes per game. This is a tough environment and a tough team to walk into and deal with. Cowboys are up 4. Still aren't shooting the ball very well. Oklahoma State just 1 for 4 from beyond the arc, but points off turnovers and second chance points keeping the Cowboys in front.
Now you've got Coleman as the Cowboys drop into a man-to-man on the point.
See if they take the opportunity to switch that up. And a foul.
And that's on Fowler. That's his second.
That'll get Benjamin Ahmed up off the bench for Oklahoma State. Jalen Curry set to check in as well. Quentin Hetty trying to join his brother in the scorebook. This is the front end.
Crotty and Fowler both come off. Ben Ahmed, you know, he is a young man who obviously, you know, had the foot surgery. Has come back from that. High motor, especially when it comes to rebounding.
Quentin Hetty denies the free Brahms ice cream, at least for now. Gets a point on the board. Ahmed at one point was on pace to average a rebound per minute.
Yes.
In his time on the floor. He's no longer at that rate, but he's the guy who they really like his motor.
Good pass.
Curry to Clary for an easy 2.
Where they are beating Bethune-Cookman on the back end on the offside.
Well, when you've got those two guys on the floor together, you got to keep your head on a swivel because they're throwing out dimes like nobody's business. They average more than 10 a game combined. There's an easy bucket on the other end. Bland with a dunk.
Well, just like Bethune-Cookman fell asleep along the baseline, Cowboys defense did the same.
On pace for this to be about a 102 to 100-point game. Anthony Roy rises for three. That one's too strong. Ahmed keeps it alive, but couldn't quite bring it in. The freshman Minor zips it to the corner. Jacoby headed. Kicks it away. Deep three. No. Christian Coleman with the ball.
Rarely do you see a three-point shooter fake a three and get two defenders in the air.
Clary tried to leave it for Ahmed. Knocked out of bounds by Bethune-Cookman. Coach Thea says, no, we're not going to challenge that one. Reggie Theus, at least as far as we can tell, the only men's basketball coach / athletic director in the country at the Division I level. There's an inbound to Miller, who can't finish, but he's fouled. And I got to think that that gives him a pretty unique perspective of really the challenges for any of the coaches across the school in which he's charged with leading.
That was another Wildcat with multiple fouls. Minor challenging Miller. They just had their backs turned to the inbounder, and so you've got to be able to see ball and man most of the time.
Miller missed the first. He started out rarely missing a free throw. He's missed a few more in the last couple of games, down to just 48%, or sorry, 84%.
You know, so often when he's shooting the basketball, I mean, other than shooting free throws, he gets the shoulders squared up and he shoots a soft shot that gives him, gives him a great chance to get a kind bounce off a rim.
3 points for Victorious Miller. Came into the game already with 173 total points on the year. Andrews three, and air ball strong. Ahmed with the board.
Minor got to pick up his third foul.
Ahead to Miller, catch and shoot, transition play.
One of the things the Cowboys give up when they run that 1-2-2 3/4 court trap, they're not in it this particular time with Christian Coleman on the front end, is if a team can break it, then it makes you a little vulnerable on the back end. But so far, it's worked pretty well.
In to shoot, step back jumper, no. Andrews that got the rebound underneath, and then he draws the foul on Coleman.
Well, Andrews just out-muscled the Cowboys to get position, and Coleman picks up the foul, and he has two. Mentioned Victorious Miller. Anthony Roy, good job of finding the open man up the floor. Plenty of space to get that off.
You mentioned with Miller how soft those jumpers come out of the hand. I mean, that's a transition three. Everything's moving fast, and it was pillowy soft flying through the air.
Just like your colleague normally, and our good friend Brendan Manzer. High and soft.
He's going to think you were calling him pillowy.
No, that in no way, shape, or form would be a compliment to him. He would not want that at all.
Both free throws good. Still a 5-point game. Approaching the under 8 media timeout. As fast-paced as this game has been, it hasn't gone by particularly quickly. A lot of free throws have kind of taken the rhythm out of the contest. They denied Victorious Miller the ball that time. Coleman inside to Ahmed.
Bland fighting Ahmed for position, and Bland pleading his case. He's got two. You're no one. That's why you play a lot of these tough games when you're a Southwestern Athletic Conference team. But we asked him about having more mature players, relatively speaking, and how that can help him, that he doesn't really have to keep them from getting their attitudes down from playing a lot of games that they're not expected to win.
Benjamin Ahmed gets to the floor to get the ball back. Isaiah Coleman finishes.
Boy, Benjamin Ahmed on the floor, he's shown that consistently going after loose balls.
And that, for a true freshman, is the exact kind of thing that a coaching staff absolutely loves to see. You can teach the other stuff, but the motor needs to come from within, and you're seeing that from Ahmed early. Let's take a look back at it.
Yeah, he made the first free throw, misses the second, and then off the pass out of there, he just steps in front of Hetty and then finds Isaiah Coleman. Beautiful play.
Credit Roy with the assist as well, kind of keeping his eyes up there. He's got 2 assists here in the first half. Cowboys have their largest lead of the game at 8 points.
This is a stretch where the Cowboys could really put the hammer down, and you've got another whistle out front.
They'll wave off the shot, but it'll be 2 free throws for Jalen Curry, who has yet to score a point this evening.
And a bit of a surprise, it's only the first foul on Rouzan.
I was starting to think that a lot of the Wildcats just started with 1 tonight. There were so many with 2 already.
You know, there have been stretches in games where Oklahoma State's looked really good and built big leads. Well, for instance, with Fullerton the other night. Led by, what, 16 at the break? But putting together a complete 40 minutes, especially on the defensive end, has been challenging.
One of our keys to the game was for Oklahoma State to drive the basketball. The Cowboys have taken only 6 threes compared to 19 twos, and they've taken 13 free throws already. Corner 3, too strong. Isaiah Coleman with the catch on the run. Euro step, couldn't finish. Here's Willoughby. Returning from an injury. Had a 3-pointer early.
Good defense by Curry.
So Coach Lutz has been harping on State in front of the ball. 1-on-1. Curry swipes this one free. And it's picked up by Isaiah Coleman.
Quick hands. Rouzan got caught looking at the other defender.
Roy can really create 1-on-1. He goes up and under. Cowboys on a 7-0 spurt. There's a lob. Looking for the backside pass. It's out of bounds.
Another turnover. Those are starting to pile up for the Wildcats. Roy just 1-on-1 working on Bland with a quickness edge. And no shot blocker coming in from the other side. Bethune-Cookman. That goes back to something we talked about with Reggie Theus. Is, you know, he's got some talent out there and versatile guys who can play 1 through 4. It's when you get to games against Power 5 teams where they don't match up as well size-wise with the 5s. And that's a perfect example of where if you have that big man, he could come in from the other side and help protect the rim.
Curry drew 2. Isaiah Coleman eventually spots up from the corner, and it's off the mark. Out of rhythm 3-pointer there. Coleman coming off of one of his better games of the season. Got to the line a bunch. Finish underneath for Jacoby Hetty. He's got 9 to lead the Wildcats.
Same sort of story, though, on the rim protection on the other side. They took advantage of it.
Clary creates space. Left it short, though.
This is back-to-back 3-pointers with not much ball movement in the offense.
Cutter inside, left hand for Bland. He's got 4 and a quick timeout from the Cowboy bench.
Good job by Bethune-Cookman of attacking. Cowboys got out of position a little bit defensively, and Bland just cut back door. And good delivery.
Oklahoma State leads by 8, John, but allowing Bethune-Cookman to shoot 56% from the field. The turnovers have been an issue for the Wildcats, but when they've gotten shots up, they've largely gone in, and they've largely been pretty good looks.
Yeah, that is, at the end of the day, how many shot attempts are challenged shot attempts for the Cowboys. And you mentioned it earlier, making sure you're not getting beat off the dribble a lot. That's gotten a little bit better. You know, you've just mentioned the defense by Curry on Willoughby, cutting him off on the wing because he wanted to go 1-on-1. There was nowhere for him to go. But then you relax just a little bit defensively, and that's what happens the last 2 possessions. But it's mixed with some questionable shot taking.
Curry on the dead sprint into the front court. Roy working against the zone defense now for the Wildcats. Clary. Roy on the step back. That's too strong.
So that's three straight possessions with three-pointers that were challenged or maybe a little bit out of rhythm.
Oklahoma State just 2 for 9 from three-point range as a team. Mid-range wouldn't go that time for Rouzan. Oklahoma State back with it. Roy gets bumped. He'll go back to the line again.
And that foul. And Jordan Johnson, guess how many he has? Two? Two.
I appreciate the context clue there, John. That is 6 different players with 2 fouls now for Bethune-Cookman. Southpaw hits free throw number 1. As many, go ahead, sorry, John.
I was just going to say, Victorious Miller getting set to check in.
As many free throws as the Cowboys have shot, John, it's not a demonstrable difference. They're only +4 in the free throw attempt category.
Well, it's, you know, when you get games like this where a lot of fouls are being called, there is very little rhythm from time to time, a lot of stoppages in play, and so sometimes that can disrupt even your defensive rhythm, although it really shouldn't. It happens a lot.
A lot of contact and a foul against the Cowboys this time. And it'll go against Jalen Curry.
Here, you know, part of the problem, again, this is, we just praised, well, Curry was coming over to help out. Clary had allowed Johnson to kind of get his right shoulder by him to get into the paint. So Curry's sliding over to help out and just got too much to got to be better defending off the dribble.
Jordan Johnson in the scorebook with the free throw. Wildcats hanging around. Again, shooting the ball pretty well, but Oklahoma State leads 13-0 in points off turnovers and 10-2 on second chance points.
You have to dominate those areas where you know you're going to have an advantage.
Mekhi Ragland with the rebound off the free throw miss. Curry right by the defender. Couldn't throw it in off the glass. Well, Miller got the board, then lost it, and then commits the foul. Well, that was a roller coaster.
Just his first. It's good initial hustle. And once you lost it, you know, live to fight another day.
Both teams shooting free throws the rest of the way here. That's just the 9th team foul in Oklahoma State. Bethune-Cookman is already at 12. That's halfway to their high water mark of the season.
Coach Steve Luntz wanting the Cowboys to push the pace a little bit, but Bethune-Cookman settling in that man-to-man.
Ragland caught it deep. Couldn't get the hook shot to go.
Well, another one just pops off of Miller's hands. Almost had an offensive rebound.
Transition 3 on the other end. Skips off the iron. Foul on the floor against Mekhi Ragland, who had position for that rebound as well, but it kind of skipped by him.
Kind of got quick off the rim. Well, the Cowboys winning a free throw battle at this point. His legs in that. Christian Coleman's had to play a little bit more at the 4 and the 5. You're without Lefteris Mandzukic and Mili Vukovic tonight, and we'll see how much longer those two will be out. You're going to need more of the depth at your bigs type of positions when you start conference play, and hopefully the Cowboys can stabilize. I don't know how you can stabilize staying healthy, but you really need to get a good break or two here.
In my experience, you stabilize that with a cast, but I don't think that's what the Cowboys are looking for, generally speaking. Oklahoma State has struggled over the last few minutes. 0 for their last 5 from the field, 1 for their last 7. On 3 minutes without a field goal maker. Inside, Ahmed, who's a +8 in limited time on the floor tonight, finishes, and the foul for the freshman Benjamin Ahmed.
Well, that's a way to take the initial contact from Ruzan and then go ahead and finish. Used his body really well that time too. Big left-hander, good shot fake.
Now the game is finally broken into the 3 personal fouls category. Daniel Ruzan, who the Wildcats really need on the floor, picks up his 3rd. Ahmed ends the field goal drought, but misses the free throw. Cowboys by 9. They've led by as many as a dozen. Nearly a takeaway that time. Mid-range, yes.
Good looking shot.
He started all 33 games a year ago on his way to being named second team All-SWAC. He's been a steadying force tonight for the Wildcats on the road.
Get it inside to Ahmed again. If he can get a 4th foul on Ruzan.
Oh, nice finger roll by Miller at the rim. Surprised, John, to see Ruzan still in the game playing with those 3 fouls right now?
Yeah, they've got him for 2 up on the board, but it may have something. I thought he had 3.
Well, we'll get that straightened out. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
he's playing with 2.
Well, yeah, not as surprised with 2.
Ricky Mitchell hits the bucket from the corner. Junior out of Aurora, Colorado, with his 12th 3-point make of the season. Clary in transition, couldn't get it to go. Pitch out to Curry. Miller. A little hesitation. Move had a shot blocked. Willoughby after the block and the board pitches it ahead. And a block on the other end for the Cowboys. Oh, good feed out in front to Victorious Miller for the jam.
What an outstanding play by the freshman.
Miller, the second Cowboy into double figures, joining Roy. High post it goes. Ruzan, short corner left side. Petty has to kick it out, 12 to shoot. And Ahmed with the block that time. Curry lobs to the right side,
the jam! Defense to offense in a big way.
And it's being sparked by a true freshman in Benjamin Ahmed. Cowboys have tended to close halves pretty strong. Back up 10. Left wing 3 this time. Too much. Isaiah Coleman with the board. Wildcats got back well in transition. About a 5-second difference, maybe 4 between the shot clock and the game clock, and Curry will take the timeout.
Cowboys had already burned the one they would lose, but with 20 seconds on the shot clock, you want to make sure you get something good here.
Raves about for Parsifala is his work ethic and those sorts of things. If he can pass any of that along to the freshman Ahmed, I think that's something they'd love to see.
He's a leader by example more than by vocally. But they just need him out there.
Yes, sir! Oh, that's a tough look. Clary got it to go. He's got 6. The Cowboys have matched their largest lead. 2 seconds in the half. That will come up well short. And Oklahoma State with a 6-0 spurt to end the half extends the lead back to 12 to match their largest of the.
You want to see 20 minutes worth of solid, consistent defensive effort this time around.
I think Steve Lutz would also like to see some good defense even when it's not resulting in turnovers. Can you just get stops and force misses? There's an open 3 from the corner, and it was short. And Parsifala gets the rebound. He missed some of that first half with a couple of fouls.
Well, that was well executed by the Wildcats. You got the back screen to allow that cross-court pass to an open shooter. Just didn't make the shot.
Curry, the long-range runner, hits.
Did he leave his feet a little early and maybe want to do something? Look for the Parsifala on the roll?
I can tell you, if I was in that spot, I would look like a fish out of water, and he just hit a 15-foot teardrop is all. Cowboys' lead is the largest of the day at 14.
You want to see Fowler and Bethune-Cookman able to stay out on the floor without picking up a third foul quickly, so they can show a little bit of improvement on the defensive end.
Tried to beat the shot clock buzzer, left it short. Good defensive possession for the Cowboys that time. Fowler spins baseline, right by the defender for two.
Used the left hand too, and sealed that position with his body.
Cowboys 2 for 2 to start this half after finishing the first half, making 5 of their last 7. There's a double team. It's not free, and Curry scoops it up on the scramble all alone. Easy 2.
It's a sharp start. We've seen this before, though. You want to avoid the lulls. Don't lower your level just because you built it out to an 18-point lead.
Before this run, the Cowboys had gone 1 for 7 from the field. Now 8 for their last 10. Excuse me.
That's good defense by Miller.
Quentin Hetty couldn't hit the fall away. Cowboys pushing the pace at the behest of Steve Lutz, and that is rejected out of bounds. Curry took a hard tumble, but both he and the defender, Quentin Hetty, are up on their feet.
Well, Hetty initially beaten because he was playing that left hand to force him to Curry to go right. Good help over there by Andrews. And Hetty was able to fight back for the block.
It's the first miss of the half for Oklahoma State. Roy off the screen. Couldn't finish on the baseline drive, but a foul. Bethune-Cookman with a dozen first half fouls. Ricky Mitchell commits the first of the second half.
Got him on the wrong.
Well, that really shows you the length of Anthony Roy to go between defenders in the air like that and able to draw the foul.
You have to have guys to compete in the Big 12 who just know how to get the ball in the basket. And Anthony Roy is one of those. You will see teams in the Big 12, I would think, though, really try to play him to do more than just catch and shoot. So his ability to finish on drives is going to be critical for OSU.
Roy is also now, as Andrews gets to finish on the other end, Roy has also now gone 6.5 games without missing a free throw. He's made 25 in a row. 6 for 6 tonight after that last trip. Now here's a foul on Andrews. That's his third personal. We do think that Rouzan, by the way, officially only has 2 fouls. So you've got Mitchell and Andrews with 3, and then a handful of others with 2. Fowler on the pick and roll has a shot blocked. Flip ahead, all alone. Rouzan with the flush.
Rouzan trying to, it almost looked like he came up with a cramp in his hamstring.
He's battling with Fowler underneath, who gets the feed, goes up through a bunch of contact. It's blocked out of bounds. Fowler hit the deck hard, and Rouzan is still limping a little bit, John.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of an awkward landing for him. Hopefully he's all right. He jogs off.
Block, Rouzan on the other end, and he immediately was grabbing the back of that left leg when he got in the air. Cowboys back with the ball. Curry for 3, no.
Got to get back. That corner 3 missed. Can start a break.
But Jacoby Hetty took the pitch ahead, and he is fouled on a shot called against Victorious Miller. His second personal, the team's first of the second half.
So the Cowboys got off to such a great start in the first 2.5 minutes of this half. Build it to 20. And now a couple of misses, a couple of blocks the other way, and Bethune-Cookman's been in attack mode.
4 straight misses now for Oklahoma State, and credit Coach Theus' squad. They've been into a bunch of tough environments this year and have rarely backed down. You see that again here.
This is developing a little bit like the last 2 games. Fullerton, Kansas City. Cowboys get up to a comfortable margin, but then I don't know, it's a combination. You got to credit the effort from Bethune-Cookman tonight, but also are you taking your foot off the gas a little bit? Cowboys have tried to get it inside the Parsifala a handful of times.
Roy spins into the paint, and he's fouled.
That's on Johnson. 3 for him.
I think he had the foul that I erroneously assigned to Rouzan in the first half, because I only had him at 2 there.
Coach Theus just to our right, pleading with the officiating crew. Where's the foul?
He's asking the official to come over and have a conversation. He turned and said, "I've already given you an explanation." So Roy gets both. He's 8 for 8 on the evening. And he's got a team-high 15 points. Game-high 15 points, actually. Here comes that trap defense again. John, and it forces the turnover. Coleman with the flush.
Perhaps one extra step? Or was it in the gathering? The gathering. It's a gathering. And a travel. Another turnover.
Speaking of extra steps. By the way, I think that's 9 consecutive games with a dunk for Christian Coleman.
Well, ahead of that press, he's going to have an opportunity if the ball comes free. And Jalen Curry, right to him. Let's see. Catch. Oh, it's good.
Looks good in the scorebook, certainly. Miller with it on the wing. He'll rise and carry one with a hand in his face.
They're going to need a lot of that Big 12 play as well.
Jacoby Hetty with a response.
Cowboys defensive transition needed to get back a little more quickly. That's off a made 3, so you've got guys on the perimeter.
Roy going to work. Very capable scorer. He gets the bucket and the foul.
That'll be on Jacoby Hetty.
I'm not confident that Steve Lutz was overly pleased with that offensive possession as a whole, but it was effective nonetheless as the Cowboys.
Just a moment ago, but other than that, I mean, they've gone inside Parsifala, inside Anthony Roy, and inadvertent whistle from Tyler Kumpf, our referee tonight. And Roy made the free throw. He says, "My fault, you get one more." No problem.
No, it was an and 1 free throw. So that first one didn't count.
Well, he blew the whistle when he let it go, and I think that's why he had him shoot it again.
Oh, okay. Why not just count it if he made it anyway?
Well, he might not have been able to live with himself. I'm not sure.
This is why they know the rules.
Exactly.
And it's their job to enforce them.
Cowboys have done a great job of taking care of the basketball tonight. Only 3 turnovers. This stat's crazy. Points from turnovers. Cowboys have a 20-0 edge.
You don't see that kind of advantage very often. As Fowler misses from close range again. Looked like that shot was maybe impacted.
You know, it looks like maybe he's rushed it just a little bit at times tonight. Well, he got down the floor, rewarded.
Christian Coleman attacking, and he gets fouled.
Johnson picks up the foul.
Coleman is also a guy who has been getting better at the foul line, 67% over the last 4 games. But he's been on a run where he's averaged north of 18 points, better than 6 rebounds, and nearly 2 block shots a game while shooting 70% from inside the arc. He's been really good as of late.
I want to say it was the Sam Houston game. I could be wrong about that, but it's a handful of games ago where he only played 7.5 minutes, maybe, something like that, and spent a lot of time on the bench. And it's been since then that his really good play has ramped up, and he is a guy that the Cowboys will need to be productive in conference play for sure, because he's got the size and the versatility to do a lot of things.
Coleman misses both this time. That's out of bounds off of Bethune-Cookman. Cowboys will keep the ball, still leading by 21.
Cowboys have been pretty good, although this is a little bit farther out on the baseline away from underneath the basket, but they've been really good at executing inbounds plays.
Open look for Miller. He's fouled.
Jacoby Hetty racing down the floor to try to get away from the foul call.
There are some things in life you can't outrun, John.
Oh, that is deep. Now that is deep.
Tune in for basketball, leave with philosophy lessons. Although I don't think you want to take those from me, generally speaking. Miller at the line for 3 more. Made the first 2 look easy.
You know, he started to finish his free throw shooting with his momentum going forward. You know, a lot of times guys can get a little complacent at the line when they've shot it really well, and all of a sudden you're leaning backward and you get out of rhythm. But BJ's done a really nice job.
16 for Miller. Just a couple behind Roy for the team lead. The Cowboys are on a 13-3 run over the last couple of minutes. Here comes the trap. A kick out for a wide open Andrews. Got it.
They did a good job getting away from the trap. Shared the ball, found the open man.
Andrews returning from injury, a very, very capable three-point shooter. 50% on the year coming in underneath. Falla caught it deep. Missed the first shot, but got the second. Falla into double figures with 10. And he's got 8 boards to go with it. Cowboys in the zone here? No.
No, they're a little bit off. They're not double teaming this time.
Open 3 from the wing is good. First field goal of the game for Quentin Hetty.
Back-to-back threes.
Not really seen much of that for either team this evening.
Follow. A little drop pass from Clary. Oh, that one just a little behind Victorious Miller, and Miller reaching in to try to steal it back, picks up the foul. Well, you find the open man on the wing, and that's just a late closeout on the second of back-to-back threes.
You mentioned staying off and not double teaming. In theory, that's to prevent that exact kind of shot right there.
Third foul, by the way, on Miller.
We'll come have a conversation with head coach Steve Lutz on his way to the Cowboy bench. Wildcats have made 5 of their last 7 from the field.
Ben Ahmed back in there for the first time since that closing stretch in the first half.
3 points, 2 rebounds in 7 minutes, but did some of the gritty things that help you win games in that first half as well. Got on the floor for a couple loose balls. So foul on Parsa Falla.
3 for Parsa. Quentin Hetty just going right at him, and you know, he shot that with that right hand that's heavily taped around the wrist. It looked like he kind of lost control of it, and Falla was trying to get out of the way.
All in all, Falla a pretty good job of staying in front despite guarding from the perimeter there.
Put it a little bit of a disadvantage with Hetty's quickness.
Six points, 5 boards, 4 assists for Quentin Hetty today. He's done a little bit of everything for the Wildcats.
That's an 8-2 run for the Wildcats.
Kanye Clary trying to use that quickness, couldn't finish, but Ahmed keeps it alive. Isaiah Coleman with the bucket.
Boy, hands by Ahmed, not giving up on the boards.
And that's the kind of thing that Coach Lutz wants to see from Isaiah Coleman, too, sticking with the play, getting to the rim after off the broken floor. There's an errant pass taken away by Roy, who's double teamed, maybe triple teamed, and he gets fouled. It's on Quentin Hetty. That's his 3rd by my count. And that's already 17 fouls in the second half. John, the Cowboys were in the bonus early in the first half. They're in the bonus with 12.5 minutes to go here in the second.
I hope we weren't trying to get anywhere here in town before 10 o'clock, before closing.
I mean, like my head hit the pillow at some point this evening, but other than that, Roy rattles in the front end of the 1-and-1. Roy's second is good, making 30 consecutive free throw makes for Anthony Roy.
See about the defensive communication now. You're up by 22. You don't want to get lazy on this side. You've got to really get loud to make sure your teammates can hear you, whether you're going to switch a ball screen, if you see something coming from behind, or you can just take it away.
That'll work too. Cowboys in transition. Isaiah Coleman for two. Really nobody that can't run on this Cowboy squad. You saw it in transition there. They had 3 guys up the floor in a hurry. Foul on Jalen Curry will send us to our next break.
Once again, turning defense into offense. Curry with the quick hands, puts it on the floor. You've already beaten 3 guys down the floor. Find the open man for the easy 2. The Cowboys off to a good start here in the second half.
Isaiah Coleman with the dunk for Oklahoma State in just over 15 minutes tonight. Look at this efficiency. 5 for 7 from the field, 10 points, 4 boards. And John Holcomb, Coach Lutz has been looking for him to do just this kind of thing. Slash to the basket, defend to get boards. And if he can do this kind of stuff, that's going to translate well to Big 12 play.
Well, he may be the best finisher on the team going to the rim. At least one of the top 2 or 3. Defensively, on the offside, he does a nice job of getting into passing lanes, and he understands when to run. You know, as long as he is in engaged with everything. Again, like we said in the first half, I think he and Christian Coleman, the two Colemans, are probably the two biggest X factors for the Cowboys in Big 12 play.
The law firm of Coleman and Coleman having a good night tonight. A combined 18 points and 7 rebounds. Well, and that was really easy for Cognac Clary, straight to the rim. 6 different Cowboys with at least 8 tonight, with more than 11 minutes to play. 26, the largest lead of the game for the Cowboys.
Good
Kick
find.
out, open look, good.
A good find, because it would have been very easy down low to take advantage of that mismatch.
Curry almost walked right into the paint. Out to Roy, catch and shoot. That one spins out. Ahmed with the board. Couldn't finish. It'll be out of bounds off of Ahmed.
He found a way to get the ball. Now, the good defense on the follow-up, and maybe, you know, next time he'll decide to put a little head fake, see if he can't draw some contact.
Well, and that's one of those things that, coming off of injury, as he gains Division I experience and just continues to knock off rust, come a little bit more fluently, presumably. Mitchell kicks to the corner. Andrews can really shoot it. Got another.
Well, he hit that over Anthony Roy, but Roy had slid over to stop the drive, and there was enough space for Andrews to get that off.
Clary couldn't get it to go with the English, and then he touched the ball while standing on the baseline, so it'll stay with Bethune-Cookman.
Here's another example of what we're talking about. You can stop the man with the ball first, because Roy is all the way there at the rim to stop the drive, to help stop the drive. It's a tough ask.
Correct me if I'm wrong, John, but that goes back to something that Coach Lutz has been talking about for weeks, which is if you're the primary defender and can stay in front of the ball there, then that help doesn't have to come.
Exactly.
And Roy can stay out on that shooter.
No, exactly. That's what we've been talking about tonight and in the previous recent games, getting better on-ball defending.
Miller in, Roy out. Cookman with the ball.
Bethune-Cookman has made their many runs this half by hitting threes.
This time a pull up from the elbow. Tyler Andrews absolutely letting it fly.
Well, you see glimpses of why Bethune-Cookman is picked as perhaps the SWAC favorite to win the league.
Andrews with good length. He's played in 25 or more games each of the previous 3 seasons as the Cowboys are called for a travel. So he's one of those players that's really adding to that Division I experience for the Wildcats.
Ryan Crotty in, Victorious Miller out. You know, that there wasn't Crotty tuck his shirt in. I think the officials get a little bit perturbed at times that guys come out with their jerseys untucked. I mean, this isn't Bo Ellis and Jerome Whitehead, those guys from Marquette way back when.
That one just right off the leg of Quentin Hetty. Clary in transition the other way is rejected. He was holding his head when he went down. That'll stay with Oklahoma State.
Clary getting ahead and no fake there, and good hustle back by Andrews, which is what allowed Quentin Hetty to come from behind and swat that.
Andrews kind of walled up there, did a nice job not committing the foul. It's an 8-0 run for Bethune-Cookman over the last 2 minutes. And Coleman puts that to it in.
Under control. Didn't try to do too much and get all the way to the rim. He saw what kind of traffic was right underneath. Good challenge by Curry.
Curry in transition now. Good seal.
Ben Ahmed. Boy, that's quite a bit to get around.
Shows you the headiness from the true freshman. Executed that to perfection, creating a wide open lane for Curry. The deflection will keep it with Bethune-Cookman. Here comes Christian Coleman. He'll get Kanye Clary.
That changes things a little bit. Coleman will be at the 4, moves Isaiah Coleman to the 3.
Good length in this lineup right now. Crotty pretty long as well. Wing 3 too strong. Isaiah Coleman with the board. Inside, Ahmed spins away from the defender. Lost the ball going up.
And then fouled. Oh, that's a tough one. Made the right move.
Everything went right until he was ready to go up with the ball. And then it kind of all went sideways after that.
I had dreams like that. When playing, it just couldn't score the basketball. It just never could get a hold of it.
Those were my basketball dreams too, but that was a good day for me. Andrews has been the hot hand. We'll see if they can get it back to him.
On ball screens and rolling action, multiple guys.
Andrews open in the corner. Missed that one, but an offensive rebound. Quentin Hetty right down the lane. Oh, tough finish.
That was a pretty move.
Up and under through a couple of defenders. Curry pulls up, missed it.
You're starting to head into one of those walls.
That is a nice look as well. Jacoby Hetty that time. Says, hey, bro, anything you can do, I can do better. Well, that's the younger brother. Cowboys led by as many as 26. That's down to 18. Wildcats kind of playing in the gaps. Inside it goes. Ahmed fouled. And he'll go to the line coming out of the under 8 timeout. Parsifala will check in at some point as well. The Cowboys.
You stay healthy enough and you gain enough out of it that, you know, I do think that they'll be in the mix for the title and maybe an NCAA tournament berth if they can win that conference tournament.
Ben Ahmed makes the first free throw. Parsifala is waiting to check in for him if he can make the second. This would extend the lead back to 20 for the Cowboys as well.
How about that? It's one of the things that they've talked about with Ben is working hard on that free throw routine.
He had not attempted one in a game yet this year. He's 3 for 5 now on the night.
Going back to that trap. Worked really well for him in the first half. Ooh. I think they're going to get Fala. And Parsa now has 4.
Interested to see. It looks like Coach Lutz is going to let him stay in the game. And this is kind of an opportunity to work on this, John. You're up 20, 7 minutes left. Maybe let him play with 4 and work on that a little bit.
Yeah. No, you may very well indeed find yourself in a position in a tight game where he's got to find a way to stay on the floor with 4 fouls. He's played enough basketball and knows how to do it. Missed it.
1 of 2 trip as Fowler gets his 9th board. John, it encourages me about the youth of America that we're having a GPA conversation going on over our shoulder.
I heard that a little bit too.
They're focused on the right things. That's what I'm interpreting.
When I was that age, I think they only handed out S pluses and S's and S minuses.
I can assure you I didn't know what my GPA was at that age. Curry steps into a 3 and he drills it. Bit of a line drive.
You know, momentum was going the right way.
5th Cowboy in double figures tonight as Oklahoma State has eclipsed the 90-point mark yet again.
See if this defensive intensity can maintain over the last 6 minutes.
Long two-point jumper off the mark. Christian Coleman with the board. Curry gives it away this time. Crotty, I don't think has shot it yet tonight. Fowler going to work instead. He's bumped underneath. That'll be a 1-and-1 chance for Parsifal.
Technical foul.
To the technical free throws, and he makes the first. That makes him standalone 8th all-time in terms of free throw streak at Oklahoma State, having surpassed Arlen Clark. He makes both. That's now 32 consecutive makes for Roy at the free throw line. Arlen Clark was pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
His name is in the record book in a few different places.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Well, that'll send Parsifal to the line now.
And on Rouzan, that's his third, finally.
We were talking about GPA earlier. My score sheet's starting to look like an English paper here. All these fouls and free throws. So 1-and-1 for Fowler, and he makes the front end. You love when your bigs can make the front ends of 1-and-1s.
Yes, because they're going to be asked to do it at some point in a game you really need.
Missed a second.
A little quick with that one.
Lead back up to 25 for Oklahoma State. 6-0 run over the last minute or so. Bethune-Cookman still shooting 50% from the field and 45% from three in the second half. When they have not turned it over, they've been good. Speaking of turnovers. Crotty kind of galloping through defenders. Curry put the defender on the deck. And buries the three.
No, they're going to call
an offensive foul
for kicking his foot out. I'm not sure I've seen that more than one other time in my life. Now, watching it at the time, he did kick it forward, but for that to be an offensive foul, that's the surprising part. And maybe that's a point of emphasis. I don't know. So he steps back, jumps, and you can't see where he kicks the leg out.
I will say it took away a very fun play for the home fans here.
Potential 4-point play if it goes the other way. You know, just be a little more subtle with the leg coming in. You know, that's the lesson here.
Fowler with his 10th rebound, and that's a double-double for Parsifal. Second of the year. Fowler going to work on the block. He's double teamed, and he turns it over. Tough runner off the mark. Christian Coleman fighting for the board. Has it stripped away. Fowler straight up and down there. The shot won't go. But an offensive rebound again.
Stepped on the sideline again.
John, we were talking about Fowler playing with 4 fouls. A really nice job defending the shot there on that one.
Yeah, he walled up, went straight up. And as long as he's not jumping out at the man shooting the ball, or pulling his arms down a little bit, then normally the officials, that's a legal play.
Cowboys have led by as many as 26. Chance to extend that number here with a bucket. Cowboys with 4 or more double-figure scores for 10 consecutive games now. Showing you the versatility this offense has. Roy, step back, buries the 3. 25 for Anthony Roy. And Johnny's getting more efficient as we approach Big 12 play for the Cowboys.
Yes, he knows that he and everyone else's games are going to have to be raised.
Easy bucket for Rouzan. He's got 16 to match him with Jacoby Heddy for the team high. Clary couldn't quite get by the defender. Underneath, Fowler bumped.
Rouzan pleading his case to one of the other members of the officiating crew, one who did not call the foul. Challenged than this one.
The Cowboys with a win, are going to match their entire win total from 2 years ago, put them 6 weeks ahead of last year's squad in terms of when they got to 12 wins. Fowler has been on a theme of going 1 for 2 in that order at the line.
He's just gotten a little quicker release. The rhythm on the misses has been much different than the ones on the makes.
The live stats have him with 9 rebounds. I think we're both pretty confident that he's a 10. Well, now he's definitely a 10. The undisputed double-double for Marcia Fowler this evening. Anthony Roy, who's got a season-high 25, will have a chance to go to the line to get 2 more. That's his season high. It's not his career high in Gallagher-Iba Arena. He had 27 as a member of UW Green Bay to open last season.
8 threes last year? Is that right? He made 8
I think
threes,
that's right, yeah. It got hard to count, to be honest. Makes the first free throw. He got them both, and he is now just 7 free throws shy of the school record set by Cowboy assistant Phil Forte. Former Cowboy player, that is, Phil Forte.
Never forget Phil Forte, who's closing in on the school record for consecutive made free throws, not just in one game. Share that in a moment.
Corner 3 buried by Quentin Hetty. Clary is fouled. He'll go to the line.
It's another foul on Mitchell. He's got 4th. His 4th. Well, actually, his 5th. Somehow I missed that.
Well, in our defense, it's been hard to keep track of all the fouls this evening.
That's true.
You were saying about free throws.
And here comes Mitchell off the floor. Yeah, so we're in Orlando. Cowboys are playing in what was then the Advocare Classic over Thanksgiving. And he needs 1 free throw. I think it needs 1 free throw to either break the school record or tie the school record. And as he goes to the line, there's a big TV screen up behind the backboard, and it's got the graphic on it, and he missed the next one.
You almost wonder if that might have been intentional.
Not sure who had an axe to grind in Orlando with him.
Well, it's hard to find people anywhere who have an axe to grind with Phil Forte.
That's true. That's true.
He's a pretty well-liked individual.
One of the best, regardless.
2:23 to go and a timeout
Like that in a long, long time. Well, that should have been a travel.
And there's a 5-second call. They'll turn the ball over back to Oklahoma State. And John, at the half, these two teams were even at the free throw line. Oklahoma State has gone 24 times in the second half compared to just 6 for Bethune-Cookman. And the Cowboys have been efficient 83% as a team in the second half at the line.
They've done a really nice job of staying in attack mode. And I think you can see that outside of a couple of stretches, in 2 different stretches where Bethune-Cookman hit back-to-back threes to get back within 20, the defensive consistency has been much better.
Coleman couldn't finish.
You think about what the Cowboys would be shooting if they hadn't missed so many at the rim.
A lot of those have ended up in second chance opportunities. The Cowboys also lead in second chance points 21-6. But they've missed some close by ones, and that's been a trend over the last couple of games. Step back jumper from the baseline is good for Quentin Hetty. He's got 17 to lead the Wildcats. Long pass ahead. Fowler couldn't handle it. It's out of bounds. John, a combined 10 double-digit scores between the two squads in this game. That's the first time that Oklahoma State and an opponent has combined for 10 guys in double figures since February of 2020 against Baylor. A lot of offense.
Marcia Fowler taken out of the game, holds one finger up in the air, and the fans cheering for him.
Kai Ragland back in the game for the Cowboys. That's a long pass. Andrews takes it out. Drive from the freshman Minor. Follow-away jumpers and air ball. And another freshman, Crotty, rebounds. Clary leaves it off. Makai Ragland missed the short one.
There's another one. There's another one. Great feed, though, from Clary.
Well defended there from Crotty. It's out of bounds. It'll go over to Oklahoma State with less than a minute to play. And that means, John, there's less than a minute to play in the Cowboys' non-conference schedule. And boy, they were not done any favors with the conference schedule to Texas Tech, who's coming off of a recent win over Duke.
Yeah, the Red Raiders finding themselves a little bit. Spotty at times, and then just really connected. It came from 16 down to beat Duke. Down 11 late in the second half.
And we got to watch Duke play Arkansas for a while on Thanksgiving in person, and that's a very, very talented Duke squad. So that's certainly a feather in the cap for Texas Tech. And really, John, the Big 12 as a whole is absolutely loaded. I mean, there's 4 teams in the top 7 of the net rankings, the AP rankings. Everywhere you look, there's Big 12 schools at the top of the basketball world right now.
And Tech is somewhere in the net as of yesterday was somewhere around 24 or something like that. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Miller hits the first free throw. Christian Anderson is really developing into a potential lottery pick. JT Toppin on the inside, we know what he can do. And then you have guys who understand their roles and embrace them. It will be very difficult to get out of Lubbock with a win. But you know what? You play on a Saturday afternoon, 12 o'clock. And I know in football, maybe sometimes it doesn't translate to basketball, but you know, football, if you're the road team, you love those 11 a.m. kickoffs.
Ariel Bland loves a dunk, apparently, as he goes to the rim for 2. And not only, John, is it an early tip, you get to go to Tech and to Iowa State when it's still winter break. The students aren't back from Christmas yet, so maybe that plays into it a little bit.
Something tells me that the crowd in Lubbock will find a way to get loud. But you're right.
Well, a little pause and a hold up there at midcourt as we wait at the